All right, good evening. Welcome to the June 14th, 2016 meeting of the Manchester Town Council. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So even though it's summertime, I apologize for my fairly casual attire, which is probably more in line with what everybody else is wearing today. I was at a casual work event and rushed to get here. So, first order of official business here is approval of the May 10th, 2016 minutes. So you have a copy of the minutes with you. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as submitted.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, receipt of the 2016 Treasurer's Report. As you may remember, we had, we skipped a month last month where we didn't have everything that we typically have in line with Treasurer's business. We have a couple of items here. 1, 2, 3, so we can do these individually. We have a motion to receive the March 2016 Treasurer's Report.
I'll make a motion that we receive the March 2016 Treasurer's Report.
I'll second it.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, same thing, April 2016, the Treasurer's Report as well.
Make a motion we receive the April 2016 Treasurer's Report.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then, wrapping up, we have the check register for May, for this past month, and we'll get to the Treasurer's Report next month. We have a motion to receive the check register for May.
Make a motion that we receive the May 2016 check register.
And I will second that.
All right, motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Move along. Mayor's Report. I have a couple of items this month. Last week, I attended the Manchester Valley High School scholarship presentation for seniors. I want to thank the members of the council that were on the scholarship committee. I understand I did not get the chance to review all of the applications as I'm moving into the time where I've removed myself a little bit, because I tend to know a lot of the kids, and it's best that whoever's making the decisions has probably less of a personal relationship with some of those families at this point. But I understand we had a decent number of decent applicants, as we always do here in Manchester, and the town awarded a $1,000 scholarship to Rosalia Capadora, who's a really outstanding young lady and a senior here at Manchester Valley High School. So she was a recipient of the Charlotte Collette Annual Scholarship. In addition, and I did not know this going in, so I don't know if we knew it or not, but the town of Manchester was presented an award from Manchester Valley High School. So we were the 2016 Corporate Partner of the Year. That's something to bring that back. So I think that's excellent. The town has, I guess, regardless of everything that's going on with the schools and the school system, the town certainly has been a supporter of the 3 schools that we have here in town, and several of us have been on boards and advisory councils and participate and do everything we can to help out the schools and the students. So we want to thank Manchester Valley High School and the principals and administration up there for that award. Also last week I met with the Manchester Valley High School girls lacrosse team. I think some of you guys may bring that up as well, but that's unprecedented. We've given some resolutions in the past to some of the school sports teams that have won a state championship. This particular group of girls has won 3 consecutive state championships, which is the first time something like that has happened at Manchester Valley High School, and finished the year, I don't know how the rankings work for girls lacrosse, but they were the number 2 ranked girls lacrosse team in the country and the top ranked public school in the country. So I presented them with a resolution at their end of year banquet. And then just a couple items of business next week. Next Monday is the joint Carroll County, Frederick County, Maryland Municipal League dinner in Mount Airy. I believe Councilman Wilder's going. I'm going, if anybody else, Councilman Ficelli is going. So that's an annual dinner where the elected officials from Frederick County and Carroll County get together. And then we also have the Maryland Municipal League annual convention coming up the following week for a couple of days in Ocean City, and I believe a couple of us are going to that as well, and we'll report back with things that we learn and gather and the networking we're able to do. That's what I have, and I'll turn it over to the town administrator.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council, members of the community. We'll go ahead and start with the May 2016 Administrative Report. Under pending items, there's been no change in our 2 SHA projects. Our Sheets project, on May 16th, Michelle Wilder and I met with representatives from Sheets in regards to the Board of Education property to the rear of the store. They have acquired that piece of property, or in the final stages of acquiring that piece of property. And you have to remember that there is a right-of-way running through that property that the town has a 4 sewer main in. And, you know, they ask about that, and I said, your 4 sewer main's going to have to be relocated anyway, so that location will be moved to another location, so that will not hold up the project in any way. So that project's moving right along. Our town hall and police station, it's estimated that the project is 56% complete. Actually, I think it's a little bit more than that. I think we're over the 60% mark. We've got nothing but good comments on the structure. Everybody is really pleased how it blends in with the area up there. If anybody happens to be off, or even if you're not off and you want to tour the building, please come see me, stop in, and I'll take you up there and take you through the building right now. So that's moving right along. Under code enforcement, rental housing, and new construction, you have in front of you the monthly status report in reference to code violations. New construction, Manchester Farms, Section 7. The construction of the model home is well underway down there, so things are moving along in Section 7. Under miscellaneous items, we're doing some preliminary work on the ADA sidewalk project from York Street, from Main Street to Manchester Elementary. Jared Schumacher and I met with Dick Parks last week with Aero Engineering, and we went over the scope of the project. Actually, I do have a proposal laying on my desk for engineering fee, so that project's moving right along. We may have to scale that project down to see what how the bids come in, but right now our goal is to go from Main Street all the way to Manchester Elementary on York. Also, I'm working on the ADA entrance to the current town hall that we're in right now. When the historical center moves upstairs, of course, we're changing the status of the building, and our current ramp out front does not meet the ADA standards. So we've been batting around many ideas of how to turn this building, make it ADA compatible, from another type of ramp to another ramp in the rear to a vertical lift. So we just have to weigh out the costs and see which our best direction is. I'm sure Councilperson Warner will mention this, but we did receive the Banner City Award for 2016, which is excellent from MML. Moving right along, we'll head into the May Public Works Report. You have in front of you the monthly water and wastewater status report for May. Under wastewater, we did have the sludge press demo that took place the week of May 23rd. A lot of municipalities came in from across the East Coast to look at this demo. So we were able to show off the plant, plus we were able to host the demo from EnviroRep, so we're pretty pleased with that. Also, as I mentioned last month, the WRCC meeting was held here on May 25th, and I took the group from here out to our spray field facility, and they were very impressed with the facility. I do want to thank all of our operators. That place looked immaculate, both the wastewater treatment plant and the spray field facility, and those folks did an outstanding job, the operators at both locations, so I want to thank them for that. Under stormwater, there's been no change on the stormwater management facility on Westminster Street or the old skate park. The Whispering Valley Stormwater Management Facility retrofit, there's been no significant change on that. The storm drain pipe rehabilitation is about 80% complete on Southwestern Boulevard. Basically what we're doing is we're waiting for the area to settle, then we're going to have the contractor come in and blacktop that area out there. So that's in the process of being completed. We also replaced 60 feet of storm drain collection pipe on Oak Street. And an action item that you have that relates to stormwater management is the 3-year mowing contract. You have those in front of you, so that's an action item that we have to go back to. Under maintenance roads and parks, the skate park project, Tyler Anderson got back to us on the proposed layout. Work on the ramp rebuild is scheduled to begin in several weeks. and also the bids for the concrete floor in the storage building at the maintenance shop.
Steve, we do not have the mowing contract bids.
We do not have the mowing contract bids. I have them. Stand by.
We could play music like we're on hold. John could sing. You could sing.
Gave that up.
Do you say?
No. Kazmaier does though.
Far away.
Well, they're pulling that up. Chief, do you want to, I don't know if I see Steve coming back right away. Steve, while Kelly's getting that together, do you want us to move forward?
Yeah, Kel's gonna make copies and pass them out. And those are two action items that I thought you had in your packet, and we'll take care of that. So if you want to move ahead, that's fine.
Sure.
Any other questions for the town administrator other than the action items, which we can come back to? Nope. No, we'll jump forward then and come back for the police report.
Mayor, council, community, good evening. I want to read it because we had a busy month. We did have 64 calls for service this month. We did unfortunately have to criminally charge 8 persons, 2 of which were for possession of heroin. The other arrests were mainly surrounding assaults and traffic violations. We had 0 Part 1 crimes, so we had no major crime in the community. So far this year, in comparison to last year, we broke even, and last year was an all-time record low for the reduction of crime. For 2016 year-to-date, the county has recorded a total of 138 overdoses, 62 of which were heroin-related, with 13 fatalities. For the same comparison last year, there was 88 total cases, 29 of which were heroin-related. When you compare May to May, in 2016, there was 32 total cases, 18 heroin-related. Last year in May, 29 total, 9 of which were heroin-related. The good news, we sponsored the Westminster PD. We'll actually work with the Westminster PD for the Special Olympics. We sponsored an athlete by the name of Woody Higgins. And each year what we do is when we do have an athlete, we get them a gift. And Great Moments down in the Westminster Mall hooked us up. We were able to get about $190 worth of sports memorabilia for $90. So Woody got hooked up with some Joe Flacco items and some other items. So that was pretty cool. Zeb Gorbach, one of my younger officers, he was awarded the Carroll County Criminal Justice Award for Excellence. Myself and Councilman Pacelli attended it, so that was a nice award this year. For traffic enforcement, we had 56 total traffic stops, 17 of which were citations, 39 warnings. Our main focus was Halley Avenue, Charmel, which is going to be a main focus again this month, along with Southwestern, Long Lane, and Hanover Pike. And Mayor, that's about it.
Okay. Any questions for the chief or? I know we were posting something online. Do you want to bring up the item we were posting about with littering?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Whispering Valley, but we do have a culprit who finds it necessary to dump their ashtray on the corner of Frydinger, Augusta, and Millie. I didn't know cars had ashtrays anymore. I thought that was an option, but apparently this person does, and they like to. We're having a tough time catching them, and it's not just 1 or 2 cigarettes. It's about 50 or 60, and then you get the wind blowing, it ends up in the yards. So if anybody has any information on that or can talk to them, I'm hoping they'll stop before we have to criminally prosecute with them. I know it's not a big deal. I actually caught some flack when we posted it. They didn't think the Manchester PD had enough to do, and we should be focusing more on crime than the ashtrays, but that is important to some people, and that's why we posted it.
It's hazardous to animals. If the animals would pick up the cigarette butts, the tobacco gets into the bay and everything else, so it is an issue.
Yeah, it's a big issue. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah. Well, and I think if it's your neighborhood, it definitely becomes an issue. And,
Sure.
And I don't think that, I don't speak for the chief, but I think we do focus on crime, and that we have a really, in my mind, a very good balance between a top-down approach of what are the most dangerous things to the community and how we spend our time, but all the way down to things like this become that broken window syndrome, where if you don't address them and you just allow litter and graffiti and broken windows and all these things, and it starts to be, it'll multiply. So
And we'll catch them.
Yeah,
It's due time.
yeah,
It's due time.
yeah. I'm not really sure why they're doing like.
No, like I said, we talked about it. I didn't know they had ashtrays in cars, but I guess they got some type of,
I don't think so either. Maybe it's an older car. But I don't want to see kids picking them up, and they are toxic to animals, so. I thank you.
I apologize if you said this in the past, but any common speculation on why there's such an increase in heroin use? Is it 'cause it's cheaper, it's more
I mean, it
popular?
all surrounds it, unfortunately, it all surrounds the start of pain medication. And people get addicted to the pain medication and they don't know how to handle it. And then when their prescriptions run out and their other means to getting that pain medication run out, they resort to heroin. And then unfortunately with the heroin, when Councilman Pacelli and I joined the force, heroin was running about $95 for a small little sugar pack. Well, now they can pick it up as a scramble for $5 a bag. So it's easier for them to get heroin than it is the pain medication.
Wow.
And it's coming in from all over. Delaware just had a significant bust. They seized over 600 logs of heroin. And what a log is about 120 grams of heroin pressed in. And then when it comes in, if it's laced with fentanyl, we're looking at a significant return for the investment in the drug dealer. And that's what they're working off of. And when they can cut that down, those $5 add up real quick.
Sure.
So fentanyl, when they add it in, cuts it so it becomes cheaper to produce.
Well,
It's
makes it
deadly.
more powerful.
Right, deadly.
That's
The
Deadly.
problem with-
That's
the
what's
problem
killing them.
When Vince and I started, if you got heroin that was running, I'm gonna say about 40% it was a lot, well, now you can get it for about 95%. But that's when it becomes deadly. And fentanyl by itself is deadly. So then when you add the fentanyl, you could be a pro user and it's gonna kill you. And that's what's happening right now. We can't keep up with it. Narcan's great because it saves lives, but frankly, it's a false positive. Because you're the person OD.
It's a crutch.
You're putting a life ring around him now. We just have one in town. He OD'd twice, and he went to Glen Rock. He OD'd and died. And that's how quick it is.
Thank you.
Any other any questions for the chief or about the police report?
Down and-
Yeah.
No, it's very informative.
Yeah. The good news is I think that we're staying ahead of the curve, but it's a constant battle. It's a constant, and it always will be. Right? It's always do whatever we can to keep the community as clean of it as we
Real quick
can.
though, for the ones that have kids, and anybody listening out there on TV, Delaware just seized a box of Fruit Loops that was marijuana laced. And it was a couple thousand boxes. And then you got the lollipops, and you got the candies, and these drug dealers are trying every way, shape, or form to get it for our kids. And that's the main focus. When I went to Brian DiLeonardo's forum, it was an eye-opener for me, because coming from Baltimore, I hate to say it, I had a stereotypical vision of a heroin junkie. And then I'm seeing kids up here that, Gary, soccer players. I mean, the kids are star athletes, addicted to heroin. So, keep your eyes open.
It's all the same, just a lot of them. Okay. Are there two separate bids in there? You say there's two action items?
Yes, there was one for the stormwater management facility mowing bid, and the other one.
These are all the same right here.
Head over the cold building.
We
These
only
are
have
all
one.
these are all Hanover pole buildings
We
here.
only have one.
We don't have the mowing.
We have the pole building.
This is to install a concrete floor.
You have in front of you the old building floor.
Yes.
Yeah, I think let's go ahead and do this one while we have it up here. And then if you can explain the option 1, option 2.
Our staff solicited bids for the concrete floor in one of our pole buildings at our maintenance facility. We received 2 contractors responded back to us, Stanley Groves and Sons and Hochstead Enterprises. Stanley Groves and Sons came in at $10,500. Hochstead Enterprises came in at $10,120. Both of those bids included wire mesh. The option 2 that was supplied by Hochstead Enterprises for $12,720 was for rebar. We feel that the wire mesh is fine. We don't have a problem with that. Staff recommends going with Hochstead Enterprises for $10,120. This is in the fiscal year 17 budget, which is $12,000, and we won't be starting this project after July 1. We just want to get this clear so we can do that project. So staff recommends going with Hochstead Enterprises for option 1, $10,120.
Any questions? We have a motion to proceed.
I make a motion, we go with the staff recommendation of Hochstead Enterprises option 1 for $10,120 in regards to the pole building over the existing blacktop floor.
I second the motion.
Motion is second. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay. Now we have the mowing.
Okay, once everybody gets a copy of that.
Ooh.
Okay, as you all know, to refresh your memory, last year we started with a project where we turned 12 of our stormwater management facilities over to independent contractors to mow. It worked out real well. We were in our first year with Landscape. We put this out on bid again, and this was for 3 years. And this is a 3-year contract. Landscape come in at $14,840 for the 3 years. Fitcher's Lawn Service came in at $22,400. So staff recommends going with Landscape for $14,840 for 3 years. That's a 3-year contract.
And that's for all 3 years, not per year?
Correct?
That's not per year?
That's per year.
Per year, okay.
Per year. That price holds for 3 years.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the budget figure for 17 on that?
It was 15.
15.
$15,000. And that contract will re-up July 1.
And I know we talked about this during the budget process, but we felt like there was savings and we were able to accomplish more with our staff
Correct.
by taking this off their plate and putting their focus other areas.
Yeah, we've been pleased with their work. We've had no problems with the inspections, no problems with the residents. We neighbor the stormwater management facility, so we're pretty pleased with the work that they do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Any
I'll make a
motion?
motion that we proceed with Land Escape for the next 3-year contract for $14,840.
I will second that.
Motion second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. So many papers here. That's not agenda. I believe the next thing was the resolution, Kelly? Yeah, there we go. Can you give us a brief rundown?
Essentially, what we have looked into is doing a bond issuance through the CGA, through the state ground. And what happens is they'll do a grouping maybe twice a year. So the place we're in, there's 6 municipalities, and they are looking to issue about $26 million worth of bonds. One of the things that we're allowed to do is, because the project has already started, by having an intent, the resolution of an intent to reimburse ourselves, we give us the ability that when, if and when we go with the bond, we can go back and claim costs for, hard costs for 60 days prior to the date of the intention. And then soft costs, like engineering and so forth, back 18 months. So that gives us review it, I would go to actually come up with funds to go to fund it. So we need this in place.
Right, so this gives us additional, excuse me, so this essentially is a letter of intent to proceed with some of this, but it gives us additional flexibility in determining the best course of action for the town and how to pay for a large project. Right, so we can still do some component of savings current year and then bond. Okay, and a resolution we are able to introduce and pass in the same night.
And what will happen is we will have been in contact with representatives from the CBA and their bond council, as well as our council, to make sure, we have everything in place. And we are looking to, at the July meeting, do an ordinance that will give a little more detail on the language that's required by basically the IRS, the ordinance to go ahead and legislation to do the bond issuance.
Okay.
And we will have a, public notice, this paper, that a public hearing for that. So we're doing that. That's it.
Any other questions having to do with the resolution? So my question, Kelly, is the last sentence. So it says, with respect to such projects, issuer reasonably expects to issue debt obligations for these projects in the estimated maximum. So we're saying an estimated maximum principal amount of $2.1 million.
Because we've already expended some hard costs that cannot be captured.
Right.
With this intent. But in talking with the gentleman, the thought was, if we put a max in there, you don't want to go back and try to.
Yeah, and we don't have to use that amount. This is just maximizes our
Right,
flexibility.
Exactly.
Right, I understand. All right. Any questions, concerns? We have a motion to approve resolution number 02-2016.
Then I'll make a motion we pass resolution 02-2016, declaring the official intent of the town of Manchester to reimburse expenditures to be incurred with respect to certain projects or programs or from certain funds with the proceeds of debt.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Kelly, while we have the microphone down your way, if you want to give us a brief recap of the encumbrances list from 2000. Should this be for fiscal year 16?
Well, this is what we didn't spend in 16 that we want to be able to incur and bring over to 17.
Right, I think just the
These are
the
the
sh-
line items. As you know, when we passed the budget for FY 17, that starts on first, we knew that we were going to spend all our road monies. We knew we were going to spend all our police salaries, so in our already pre-budget, there already are some encumbrances. And these are the things that we didn't realize at the time. For example, the zoning, I think it was 2,000 in supplies. We really want to purchase certain cabinets, files. We don't have anywhere to put it right now for new building, so, under the comprehensive plan, we haven't extended all those monies yet. And that was already the council executive project. And then we had some health insurance that we did not expend to date. So it was just in general fund.
right. So I understand. I want to make sure if this becomes part of the record, or this is what you're saving, that this is correctly, because this says 15, not 16.
That's kind of where we're at, that's all.
So yeah, it is correctly reflected. It's for 16, right? It is correctly reflected on the agenda. So
Yes.
just want to make sure in what we approve.
Just those three items in the
Right. So we have a motion to encumber zoning supplies 3,000, zoning comp plan 9,000, health insurance 25,000 from FY16 to FY17.
I make a motion we encumber
the $3,000 for zoning supplies, the $9,000 for zoning comp plan, and the $25,000 for health insurance from the 2016 fiscal year to the 2017 fiscal year.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. Move. Tracy, do we have anybody sign up?
This is last two. No, three. Carroll, Schweitzer, Guy Berry, and I think it's Dottie and Wayne Owens.
Where are microphones? Oh, there.
Yeah, it's over here.
Mr. Schweitzer,
Yeah,
do you mind coming up to the microphone so we can
okay.
capture your comments?
Now, I'm bringing something to your attention that I brought in 2015. Is existing pavements on Westminster Street. They're very dangerous and someone is going to fall and get hurt. Now, you were very prompt in somebody coming out and looking at the situations along with the driveways. And you know about it, but to my knowledge, nothing has changed. It looks like everything is the same as it was 1 year ago. So I'm asking a question, what is your plans for this situation?
Correct,
Yeah.
and Mr. Schweitzer is exactly right. We went out and we visited the site, myself and Michelle Wilder. I think we met out there.
Yes.
We sent each individual a letter in regards to their sidewalk. I got one response back, which they did a little bit of repair on their sidewalk. That's all I got back. I did not,
So what's the next step?
the next step is we could put some more pressure on the residents and enforce the ordinance and go with it.
Can we, so wait, this is Westminster Street between Main and 27, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you went out and looked at it, is it just like over time, frost heaves and things just separated at the seams?
They're in need of repair. They have some pretty high,
Cut chunks out of it,
high
and
areas that's correct.
you could fall very easily.
Correct.
And the same way with the driveways.
That is correct. And we did look at the driveways also when we were out there. We did mention that in our letter that we sent out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And we can follow up again, and we can, this time we can,
Okay.
push the issue real hard.
Thank you very much.
And maybe we can do, maybe if you go out and inspect it again, maybe we'll get some pictures and get it to this group. So they have, if you don't get, if everybody can't stop by and take a look.
We'll have residents in here.
Right, yeah, I know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
If they don't fix it, Steve, can we fix it and send them the bill?
I think we can do that.
Can we do that?
Years ago, we did that. Probably 15 years ago, we did that in areas of town.
Yeah.
So it was me.
I think there's a process, I think, that you go through for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But
Sure.
I appreciate that if you brought that back to us. Thank you.
Okay.
I think, Guy Gary?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm the treasurer of the Manchester Area Merchants Association. I just want to take a minute to give you a quick update of what's happening with Mama. I know Councilman Pichelli is our representative, but his workload sometimes prevents him from making our lunchtime, middle of the day Thursday meetings.
If it was at night, I'd be golden.
So I just want to give you a quick update. Mama has been giving away scholarships for many years, more than I know. And indeed, on the 9th, we presented 2 students $1,000 scholarships each. We awarded Quinn Marie Elizabeth Riley a $1,000 scholarship, and also Rosalie Gina Capadora received a $1,000 scholarship from Mama. Our scholarship committee picked those out of the entrance that we had. The Mama participates with a number of you on the Manchester Valley Council Advisory Council. We are done with our meetings for this year. At the last meeting, there was a talk of having a joint meeting at the school with the Hampstead Business Group and the Manchester Area Merchants Business Group to give a tour of the school to many of Hampstead that haven't been familiar with it. The idea is when the merge happens, that those businesses would join along, supporting the school in their advertising and athletics, and as well as mentoring and supporting the students the way that Mama does. So that's something that was going to happen next week, but they're talking about actually waiting till mid-July after the next court appeal happens or doesn't happen to actually determine which way that goes and then move forward with that. We're also preparing very quickly for the Manchester Carnival, participating again at the Manchester Volunteer Fire Department Carnival with our booth that we used for our fundraiser for our scholarships. So we're still looking for donations from businesses for that. And lastly, Pete, Gary, and myself are bringing a lot of what we learned at this meeting and the planning and zoning meeting to the Manchester merchants people to make them aware. We every month we sort of try and get them to come to these meetings and explain to them that they should be participating in this. But we are relaying things to them from the Sustainable Community meeting, as well as the Lions Club, Advisory Council, and Planning and Zoning, as well as your group. So we're trying to take that information both ways so that everybody can sort of get on the same
Thank
page.
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Gary. Tracy, I'm sorry, my memory's not what it used to be.
Don?
Hi, good evening. I'm Wayne Owens from 30 North Auto. We moved in about 3 years ago. We seem to have a big issue with trash on the north end of Maiden Lane that has yet to be resolved. We have been in contact with the town for 3 years and nothing has resolved, and it's gotten much worse. Okay, we got trash built up. We've got trash right across from my shop that's been there for at least 4 to 5 months in bags. They're not using the cans. The cans never get put away, ever. And that's for the whole street, all the way down to the bank. They're doing the same thing. So now that everyone's leaving their cans out, no one else is putting them in. We've got birds, we've got squirrels, we've got mice. We got trash all over Maiden Lane that you beautifully just repaved. I don't know if you've been back there lately, but it's a mess. My customers are concerned when they look at that, and also the activity that goes on across the street. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, but nothing has ever been done.
So there's been bags of trash that have been
Months.
there?
Months. I got pictures from months ago, same bags.
What?
It's in an area where the trash collector, and the trash people go by, they don't see it or pick it up? The normal trash pickup?
You had to, when they repaved the road, they had to move the trash.
Whose trash is it?
You know the address? It's, the last I heard that the Carroll County Sheriff had to serve them. And we haven't heard anything since. This has been going on ever since the signs were put up at the post office about the commercial trucks. It's the same people. But that got resolved quickly. But this trash issue has just continued to go on.
Can you stay after for a few minutes when we're done?
Absolutely.
You know anything about the trash issue over there?
I do recall
I think
there was
that
a letter sent out. I had a situation.
I think Chief has may want to talk to you.
We had a
Okay.
situation at that residence.
Wanted to talk.
Untagged vehicle. I know it was tough to get that untagged vehicle out of there. I think that's been removed.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. Trash issue back through there.
It's out into the road,
Yeah.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Is it a rental?
I'm positive it is. I'm gonna say it's a
All right, yeah, let's regroup and see what we can do to
Thank you very
get,
much for
get
your
some
Thank
time.
you.
positive, yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody that didn't get a chance to sign in or would like to come up, yeah, do you mind?
Just real quick, this is, we were here last week, now we're later, in Castlefield 55.
Better.
And better, community. Maybe a quick stand up, and give them a, thank you.
That was short. Where's Doc? Come on. Just kidding.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move forward with committee reports. Councilman Smith?
The last meeting that we had for Carroll Cable Commission, there was no new information, so I have nothing to report.
I don't know if we're on a 90-day or,
Wait, excuse me?
are we on this 90-day?
There were some issues with some other people that couldn't attend, so there wasn't enough to have a quorum. So there was no new business conducted per se to report.
If we can't get a quorum now, probably can't get a quorum this summer.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll check back in. Councilman Warner?
Okay. As Town Administrator Miller said, we received notification about 2 to 3 weeks ago that we, again, are considered a banner city for the state of Maryland. This is our second year receiving that recognition, which allows us to apply for different grants and that type of thing. Just a couple reminders. Mr. Gary talked about the carnival that's coming up at the beginning of July. If you get a chance to stop out, even just to have dinner, if you're not interested in riding the rides, there's plenty to do there, games and dinner every night. And our National Night Out is coming up at the beginning of August. And I would like to, if it's okay, again, to hand out flyers during the parade like I did last year. We created, I guess it was about a third of a size sheet with information in regards to that night. It's a wonderful event. It's free to the community. Come out, bring your families. There's food, activities, and all kinds of things. You get a chance to meet the town and the people that are here to help you. And spend time with your families.
I'll race you up the rock wall issue.
May fall for baseball.
You know, I would do it if I didn't see how many people are taking pictures of you doing it.
Don't wear your fancy shoes this year, okay?
It's the first Tuesday in August. I believe the date is August 2nd. We don't have times yet at this point, but we'll have them next month for you. Probably 6 to 8. Okay.
Okay. And thank you for your work with getting everything in order for the Banner City program.
Absolutely.
I know it's a lot of things that come in from a lot of different areas, so it's a good amount of work to get the application in order and show all the things that we do. And it is an important designation for the town.
It's also on Tuesday at the MML, okay?
Reminding me.
I'm reminding you.
Okay. And you said August 2nd was,
If that's the first Tuesday, I think.
that's the first
It's the
one.
August the
second.
2nd is National Night Out, first Tuesday in August.
At 9 a.m. there.
National Night Out's not at 9 a.m.
No, we're talking about, let's back up for a minute, to the MML Banner City at 9 a.m.
I'll be there.
Okay.
All right. Councilman Pacelli?
I have nothing to add to Mr. Gary's report, which was outstanding. The Sustainability Task Force is still moving forward with their strategic plan, so we're hoping to make some headway with that in the next several months.
Okay. Councilman Howe?
We had a meeting last night, and we had our second annual plant swap in May, which was a great success. Over 100 people attended, and we swapped over 1,000 plants. So everyone was very, very happy with that and can't wait to do it again next year. The photo contest is ongoing. Your forms are available out here in the town office, in the library, or the senior center if anyone's interested. June the 21st and 22nd at 8 a.m., there will be an archaeological dig at the Nature Center if anyone's interested in going to that. As far as the bocce tournaments, they have 17 teams that are confirmed for this Saturday, June the 8th. The additional dates, if anyone's interested, is July 16th and August 20th. And the Give a Gift tree planting will be October the 16th at 3 p.m. And if anyone is still interested, you can make a donation towards this tree, to honor someone or a loved one who's passed. And again, I think there's some forms out in here. If there's not, I'll make sure that there are some out in the lobby for you, everybody. And that's it.
Did you see that was October?
October the 16th at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m.
Councilman Waller?
Okay, Planning and Zoning Commission, we had our regular business meeting on May 17th. Yeah, the three big items were Premier Dental. They returned with a new request. As you may recall, they have a big swoosh on the side of their building, and they wanted to add their name and some more signage. We had recommended that they bring the size of that down, so they did. Came back with a new plan, so that was approved. Old Town Development returned with their current plan. Their current plan is for 40 homes on one large cul-de-sac with a future connecting road to Route 30. One of the recommendations is that they move closer to the subdivisions, a little more north and west, and kind of connect, so there's a flow where this cul-de-sac would have a way in on both sides. It has not been determined who would pay for that road that would go out to Route 30. So we asked them to consider some other options, look at some changes, and come back with another plan.
Still looking for coming out across from Maple Grove?
Yes, it would come out close to where, tying into the school, and there was some concerns that where they had it laid out, it's just not a good
Not a
area.
good intersection, okay.
So were they proposing a future road to come out on Route 30, but not,
Part of their plan to do it,
oh.
to build it. So the question is, who's going to build it?
And also it was gonna come out and not be part of like, say, a four-way intersection at that stoplight? It would just
Correct, that
Right.
plan
come
is
out
not.
like, come out north of there?
Right,
A little side street.
yeah,
So what they're saying now, though, is to put 40 homes in and have them all still come out Charmel?
yep.
That's what we suggested, that they tie into that neighborhoods. Because it was not tied in, it was a cul-de-sac that was not tied into those neighborhoods.
Now, are these all, and this may be larger than this discussion, or we can, are these all in-town homes, and how they tie in their county portion?
Steve, do you recall?
Yeah, there's gonna have to be a section annexed in.
Right, we'd have to annex in part of them.
To make the 40
One more question. Originally, how many homes was it?
Originally,
The original old town was 40 lots.
Okay,
That was way, way back before all the new regulations came into
but
play.
last year when they came and we spoke
That
to,
was another configuration.
right, but it wasn't like 20-some homes, or was it still 40?
It was pushing the 40.
Okay.
I don't think it was
Okay.
I think it was the same ballpark.
Okay.
I believe Councilman Water, we've seen how many plans on this over? At least 3, possibly more.
Well, it's a challenging site. It's a challenging site.
It is correct. And, with the wetlands down the bottom. and the
Yeah.
trees and
I mean, and I don't mind being on the record with this. I think that from the town's perspective, any annexation has to make sense for the town, right? So we don't do an annexation for the benefit of a private landowner. It has to make sense for the town. And then it has to make sense for the residents that are one here and then 2 will be here. We've learned some of those lessons in the past. But I think, this is just my opinion, I don't necessarily have a vote on this. I think to really consider annexation, what we'd really want / need out of that is to have an improved intersection. Because continually dump more cars onto Charmel trying to make lefts out of there. And the state could come back at any time and say, do what they did with Fridinger and say this is going to be a right in, right out.
Especially dealing with the school situation. I mean, we need something.
Yeah. And I understand the developer's not going to want to mess with the wetlands and put that 4-way intersection in, but I almost think that's where the town needs to be, is if we're going to come to the table and find a way to do this and have an annexation, then we really ought to be looking at a way to make that intersection safer.
and those are part of our next steps in putting together the comprehensive plan. We'll have to identify municipal growth areas, and those areas could then one day be annexed into the town.
Right.
We will certainly identify that area probably as I can't say certainly, but likely identify them just in the municipal growth area.
And that's just my opinion. I don't know if you're saying it on the record or not, but what was your thing before that? I'm sorry.
Premier Dental signage.
Oh, did they, was that just on the signing on the front of the building, or have anything to do with the electronic sign as well?
No, just the side, the south side of the building. As
The
you're coming
mural?
down the hill, you see a big
Like a mural
swoosh.
on the side.
Okay. Does the electronic sign, does that fit? So I know that we have a couple of them, and each one of them are kind of one-offs in terms of how they fit into the sign ordinance. Does theirs fit in? Do you know?
I think they got approval for that sign before I got back on the commission.
Yeah. Similar to the fire department and Spargo's, and yeah. Okay.
And I give Steve and Michelle and the account and the commission members, a lot of credit for being diligent and focused on their plans for Old Town and making sure they're doing what they think is in the best interest of the town, and not just letting them come in and do it in the best interest of themselves. Number One North Liquors returned. Again, they're at this point just kind of seeking a lot of direction, so they plan to come back in next month with a concept plan for the new liquor store down the corner. So they're coming with ideas. We continue to hold our work sessions to discuss the comprehensive plan. The big looming question they're faced and we're going to face is, how big do we, Manchester, want to be? Right now we have 54 or so 100 citizens, and the question is, and there's different opinions, Do we want to be this small, quaint little town that we are and never grow? Or do we want to expand and offer more business opportunities and, again, offer different changes to the town? So there'll be different opinions, but we're going to be faced with that question in the future. How big do we want to be? And our next meeting is next Tuesday, our regular business meeting. That's it.
So, I guess now that we have people here listening, because we were kind of having a conversation about Old Town. The Old Town, and Dale, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean the details here, Steve. There's a component that's already in town that is zoned appropriately for development, and there's rights to build there as long as you meet all the requirements. And then there's a component that's outside of town, even though from a map it would look to be in town. It's just not currently a piece of the town. So the developer's trying to put them, they have an interest in trying to have it all annexed in so that it kind of all ties together. And then we want to make sure that, we're protecting the town. But they wouldn't, if there's not an annexation, they could probably move forward with a smaller number than the 40 anyway, as long as they meet all the regulations. Is that accurate?
Well summarized.
Okay.
And it's located behind Premier Dental, behind that dentist's office.
So. All right, Youth Representative Andrew Epley.
Saturday was graduation. 211 students graduated. 104 of them were Maryland Scholars, which is like you take a certain number of math, English, science classes, and that's almost 50%. And I feel like that's a huge accomplishment, saying that we're providing a quality education for these students. 40 students had over 300 service hours. 4 had over 1,000 service hours. 11 people in the top 5% with a 3.5 GPA and a 1,600 score on the SAT. As I said earlier, the girls won the state championship for the 3rd time. And on Friday the 10th, we had Junior Day with North Carroll, in which all the staff and students came over, and we had a carnival type thing. We had moon bounces, painting, kickball, trying to get us to go together and hopefully for the school year, if we do go together, to work together and have a successful school year. And I believe the event went fine, nothing went wrong.
I heard the event went very well. I heard a lot of positive from that, so that's good.
I saw the paintings out there yesterday. Yeah, very good. And last day of school is Thursday? Half day? All right.
And did I hear tonight, it's like alumni night at North Carroll, where all alumni walking through the school one last time? Was it last night?
The march.
Any word on the panther? I guess a panther was stolen from the school. Did you hear that? It's a concrete panther about that big.
Yeah. That won't be hard to find.
Yeah.
The
Somebody
next
will brag about it on
Next summer
Facebook
party,
or
you'll be at
something.
one of the kids' houses, you'll be able to find it. Might be.
All right. So a couple of reminders for you. We Manchester Volunteer Fire Department, so you should sing MV now. Carnival's July 4th to July 9th. Steve, we probably have a parade on Wednesday. Do we have fireworks on Thursday again?
Tuesday.
Parade's on Tuesday.
Fireworks is Thursday, rain day for fireworks is Saturday.
Okay. So fingers crossed for good weather for that. Next town council meeting is the following week, Tuesday, July 12th, right here.
Make sure you come out and get the funnel cakes.
Yeah, keep Steve Miller busy in that funnel cake
Right.
stand. All right, anything else for this board? All right, a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, good night.